Ladies and gentlemen, good morning. Your Excellency, thank you very much for your kind invitation to let me talk today. I'm just going to give you a quick overview of the challenges as I see it, and for emphasis, I'll probably cover some old ground. I'll show you what we do, and I'll talk about pneumatic waste collection systems. I'll highlight some of the projects that we've successfully installed and give you an overview of some of the advantages that I see in using this technology. And I'll also outline where we can mesh into other technology as well, because we're not a silver bullet. We need to work together in an integrated approach. And hopefully, I hope I'll stimulate some debate, give you some thoughts, and maybe challenge the status quo. But firstly, a very apt quote, and one I think probably fits with all of you. Yeah, the greatest threat to our planet is the belief that someone else will save it. And I think that's an excellent sort of thing to have just in the background. I'm also going to try and keep commercial soapboxing to a minimum. Please appreciate that my company designed this technology 50 years ago, and most of our competitors have copied it. So I suppose imitation is the finest form of flattery, if that's the right phrase. So as we all know, it's a very evolving and dynamic ecosystem. I'm not going to dwell on this rather cliche slide, but I just want to pick out a few points that I think are relevant. Yeah, the population demographic is changing. People are living longer. More people equals more waste. As a result of that as well, we have an increase in chronic disease. You know, treatment pathways, clinical pathways are time intensive. They're long and costly, and they generate an awful lot of waste. The third largest source of waste in the US is medical waste. There's cost pressures, which we're all aware of, and there's also performance pressures as well. And allied to that is the fact we're driven by budget limitations, the need to comply with stringent regulations, which are coming in, and also reporting is getting increasingly complicated. I found a quote the other day that said by 2050, 70% of us are going to live in cities and large mixed-use developments. And please feel free to challenge me, but I think that's the trend, that the more people there are, the closer we're going to live together. And it's going to be a sort of dense, as I say, mixed-use development. I think the impact on this for vehicle-based waste collection is one that's already been mentioned, is noise. I think Professor Charles mentioned that. The smell, and I take these are very generic throwaway terms, but congestion, there's deterioration of our sort of developments, there's more risk of accidents, greenhouse gas emissions will obviously go up. We've got all these trucks moving around, and there's also disease and pest control. And when you think Dubai generates around 8,000 tons of municipal solid waste per day, that equates to about 3 million tons a year. If each lorry carries about 8 tons, give or take, you know, that's 1,000 vehicle trips per day. It's a huge figure, and one that we need to have just logged in the back of our mind. There's so many different facets of waste management, and I think to see the full picture, you need to take a step back, or organizations need to take a step back. And one area that's key is cost, and obviously that comes as no surprises. But people need to look at life cycle costs and the hidden costs, and that give a realistic overview of the cost of dealing with waste. There's issues of quality control, there's staff training, maintenance of whether bins, air conditioning units for our sort of waste collection rooms, number of staff, dealing with hazardous waste. There's equipment, inventory and consumables. Things break, they need to be replaced. There's utility charges. There's use of floor space. Floor space has a cost. If we can reduce that, we are saving money at the end of the day. Sometimes we are double and triple handling the same waste. I mean, why do that? Why not move it in one go? There's time for audit And in some circumstances, there's extra service lifts. Say in hospitals and healthcare, you'd have an extra service lift, probably to move the waste and things like that.